All right. So since it is late May, that does mean it is NFL awards season, because why not at this point? So we're going to go through the Vikings roster. We're going to tell you who the MVP could be, Offensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, all the other stuff. Plus, we have some Viking specific categories that we'll get into. So now these are both team team MVPs as well as cats who could be in the race for league MVP as well as the other awards too. So let's dive in. First off, we already did the video. You saw it. Kirk Cousins MVP could be. So offensive MVP Kirk Cousins, defensive MVP probably Harrison Smith. Could say Danielle Hunter. I wouldn't be mad at you, but I think Kirk Cousins, like if he is able to orchestrate this offense the way that he did all of October last year, as he did in the wild card round, I think there is a good chance that he could be the most important player. Now there is a debate of what does MVP mean. Is it the best player on the best team? Is it the player that has the biggest wins above replacement? Where actually, if you look at Cousins versus Sean Mannion, maybe his wins above replacement are like, I don't know, 19 roughly. In that ballpark, yeah. But if Kirk comes in, he orchestrates that offense, and he minimizes bad Kirk, and Kubiak caters to good Kirk, Vikings offense could be really something. It really could be. Even though minus Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson steps up early this Vikings offense, both with DALVIN running as well as Kirk slanging that pigskin over the yard could be a little bit something. Offensive Player of the Year. So it's one of those weird things that they do all the time where say the MVP is a quarterback, Offensive Player of the Year is a different player. It happens like with the Heisman, and say it's a quarterback, and then the Davey O'Brien Award goes to a different quarterback, right? So it happens. But Offensive Player of the Year, DALVIN friggin' Cook, right? And if DALVIN puts up 1,500, 1,800 all-purpose yards yet again, plays a full 16-game schedule, puts up 14, 15 touchdowns, I think he can make a good case for team MVP as well if Kirk Cousins plays relatively but again, this is a throwback offense. They want to be a run-first team. We're going to look like the 98 Broncos. We're going to look like peak Houston Texans with Arian Foster as well as the corpse of Matt Schaub when he actually looked decent. I guess Thielen is Andre Johnson. Boom. And if DALVIN, again, if you can stay healthy in the contract year, has a big season, it can only benefit the Vikings on the offense going forward. Defensive Player of the Year. So Danielle Hunter, right? You could go Harrison. I'm going to go Danielle Hunter here. I think Danielle, especially if Everson is gone, if he signs with Arizona, or even if he's back with a diminished role, I think Danielle Hunter will move over to the right side of that defense primarily, being able to rush singled up one-on-one against left tackles as opposed to having to run through a bunch of trash on the strong side of the offenses. So I think that Danielle Hunter, who was second in the league last year in pressures with 88 in the regular season, even though he didn't play week 17, well, he played one snap week 17, and then Zadarius Smith got to play Riley Reef twice. But okay. So I think that his pressure numbers are going to go up. I wouldn't be shocked if he had 100 pressures in 2020, and he's going to stack up those sacks, make it rain. 23, set the record. What is up? Let's go, B. Boom. Next up, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Pretty easy to go Justin Jefferson because, who else are you going to go with, right? You look at Ezra Cleveland, maybe. You look at KJ Osborne, maybe, but probably more in the return game. But Justin Jefferson, I think he steps in. I think he's going to be Kirk Cousins' BFF underneath. I think he's just going to be a nice security blanket working from the slot, dealing more on the outside. And he is dynamic, especially after the catch in the middle of the field. A lot of in-breaking routes. I think Justin Jefferson, JJ, has a chance to make a really big impact as a rookie wide receiver in this Vikings offense. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Now, could go Jeff Gladney. I wouldn't be mad at you. First round pick. I love El Jefe, but I'm actually going to go Cameron Tiny Dantzler. That's right. Yeah. Because there's just something about him where I think Gladney will actually play more. I think he'll do well, but Dantzler, I think, has a chance to be that third cornerback, the first one onto the field in nickel with Holton Hill. But there's just something about his length. There's just something about his ball skills that I think he's going to match up really well against some of the wide receivers in the NFC North, as well as some of the taller, big wide receivers that the Vikings have on the schedule. You look at Michael Pittman Jr. with the Colts. You look at, I was going to say Nuke with the Texans. Not so much anymore. But you look at Evans and Godwin in Tampa Bay. There's a lot of really plum matchups that Cameron Dantzler and his tall frame, even though, yes, a little bit light, but tall, long frame, I think he has a chance to really shine in specific matchup-dependent games. And if he has a couple of picks, Defensive Rookie of the Year, boom, there you go. Most Improved. So, controversial. I'm going to go with FAVE ODENIGBO, even though he had a mini breakout year last year, 7.5 sacks, really working in the rotation, both rushing from the edge as well as inside. Even if Everson is back, I think IFEADI will be the de facto starter. I think his snap count is going to go through the roof, which is going to be great. He's great against the run, as well as he's great getting after it in the pass rush game. And I think you could easily see IFEADI having 10, 11, 12 sacks this season, as well as being up there in pressures, upper 60s, low 70s, somewhere in there. That would be great. So even though IFEADI probably won the most improved award last year for the Vikings, he's going to win it 2 years in a row. Man, I just love it. Heart and hustle for sure. Comeback player of the year, Mike Hughes. Yeah, I think Mike Hughes still has a chance to be the cornerback one of the Vikings. I think he has a chance to be a true alpha. And, yeah, fans are down on him. A lot of fans didn't want him in the first place because at 30 in 2018, the Vikings are like, Will Hernandez, all that stuff, right? Then, tore his ACL his rookie year, even though he had a nice pick six first game of his career. Garoppolo threw it right to him, but he still had to catch it, right? And then last year, no training camp, no OTA, still a little bit hampered, still a little bit working back from that ACL. Got cooked on national television by Amari Cooper on Sunday Night Football, but again, who doesn't get cooked by Amari Cooper in prime time? That's what I want to know. But I think Hughes in year 3 does really have a shot to resurrect his career. He's got ample opportunity. He is the elder statesman in the room now with Rhodes, Mack, and Wayne's gone. So I think he has a chance to really step up and be the Mike Hughes that we all wanted him to be in the first place. A couple Viking-specific awards. So the John Randle Heart and Hustle Award, I'm going to give to Anthony Zettel. Right, so Anthony Zettel, people sleeping on him, signed for the league minimum, blah, 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 blah. But people forget, so 2017, he had 7.5 sacks with the Lions when he was a starter opposite of Ziggy Ansah before Matt Patricia just punted him, right? Hasn't really gotten the time of day anywhere else, but I just love the attitude as well as the energy that he brings on the field. All the cliches, lunch pail, gym rat, gritty, gutty, coach on the floor. That whole thing, I think it all applies to Anthony Zettel. And I think that he really could make an impact, both on the edge in a rotation, both on the inside and some NASCAR packages. So I think Anthony Zettel is going to be sticking around and getting some run in the Vikings. Next up, so I was going to call this the Walsh SHERELS Special Teamer Award, but I have to be specific because I forgot about Blair Walsh. So Chris Walsh, Marcus SHERELS Special Teamer of the Year. It's going to be Eric Wilson. Plus, I think he should be Special Teams Captain Eric Wilson. Also should have been Special Teams Captain last year over J-Ron. But Wilson, heart and hustle, really gets after it. Number 2 on the Vikings last year in special team snaps. Only Chris Boyd had more. But yeah, Wilson, he is the de facto starter on paper at weak side linebacker, is going to get those snaps as well, but really just brings it every single down on special teams. I think he locks that one up. 2 more to go. So Kyle, Jerome, Ezekiel Sluter fan favorite award goes to James Lynch, right? So for all the reasons that we love Anthony Zettel, fans are just going to adore James Lynch, right? And he does have a little bit of that Jared Allen in him. He does have a bit of showman in him, and he's just a superstar, rock solid, just a really stud player. And I don't care where he plays, whether it's on the edge or on the inside, he's just going to be a whirling dervish of knives and fingernails and just try hard. It's going to be amazing. I think fans are really going to like James Lynch. Lastly, the Tony Dungy Assistant Coach of the Year Award. I mean, it's got to go to Kerry Kubiak, right? Although I almost disqualified him because is he really an assistant coach, or is he more head coach of the offense? Assistant to the regional head coach as well as offensive coordinator. But I think Garrett Kubiak, second year in this offense, he had a big hand in the Kubiak offense last year with Kevin Stefanski, who's now a head coach of the Browns. But yeah, I think Garrett Kubiak really year 2 getting this offense. You got the offensive lineman that you want. You got DALVIN in a contract year is going to be hangry. You got Madison. You got Thielen. You got Jefferson. You got Irv year 2. You got Rudy. You got Kirk Cousins. Yeah, that guy. Playing potentially at an MVP level. Bring it. Bring it on, baby. Boom. All right, but that's it. That is our late May Vikings award predictions. What are your thoughts? Who are your award winners? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Pull us on the Venmo. Plus give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skull Production Value.